Cognizant, we're a data provider combined with sales acceleration and go-to-market intelligence. From my past 4 years at Cognizant, I probably talk about TAM in my sleep. That is total addressable market. So total addressable market, it's going to be all of the companies and subverticals that your product can be applicable to. It doesn't have to be exactly at this moment, but that is going to be your universe. From there, you don't want to just try to cast a drag net over that and see what comes up, because your sales efficiency is just going to be killed. Your win rate is going to be low because you're bringing in unqualified customers that you're not ready to service yet. So you have to really figure out as a company, who are you going after? Who's your best fit customer? Who's getting the most value from it? What workflows are going to be applicable to what customers? We have one product suite, but it is different for marketing agencies versus a computer software company. So you really have to understand who you're pitching to and make sure that your sales team is trained out to deliver that value in that way. In terms of segmenting your TAM, your total addressable market, so there's a few ways of really slicing and dicing it. There's firmographics, so understanding company size, company revenue, where they're located, what industry they're in, what subvertical they're in, who they cater to, and then also technographic landscape, which has been super helpful for us. So we have a Salesforce application that just streamlines our whole revenue operations and helps our sales, marketing, and operational functions really operate to maximize revenue. So we go after specifically Salesforce users, HubSpot users for one subsegment, and that technographic ability to target is really helpful. So it's about identifying what value prop is applicable to what customer segment, having a tool like Cognizant to be able to drill down into that, and then really arming your populating that account data with those 3 to 4 stakeholders to go after, right? You're gonna build your buying committee. So for us, it's like sales, marketing, RevOps, and probably executive sponsor too. So we want to make sure that every account that we're going after, we're forming that buying committee. So it starts at the top with identifying the companies, dividing those companies into sub-segments. All right, here are the marketing agencies that we go after. Why do we go after them? Because they do web development, and we have hiring triggers that allows them to see who's hiring for web developers. Super powerful intel. So that's one sub-segment. Who's going to be the buying committee of that? All right, so the CEO is probably going to be involved if they're under 200 people. The sales director will be involved. The marketing director will be involved. Let's build that buying committee. And then arm our reps with all of the contact data that they need, the LinkedIn URL, the B2B email, the company phone number, the direct dial phone number, the mobile phone number. And from there, that's the data that goes into the sales process that basically becomes your engine to output revenue. And then with the Chrome extension, I believe we're doing the big reveal later, so I will hold off on that. But so you do your big list build to really understand, all right, here is the accounts and contacts that you're going after as a rep on your day-to-day basis with your daily metrics. But then also you want to empower your sales reps. Like if they will know if you're training them correctly who your best fit clients are. So it doesn't all need to come from that list that's pulled from Salesforce. Like if they're on LinkedIn and they're like, hey, there's no ownership of this account on Salesforce or HubSpot, and I really think that they're a great fit. I know exactly what cadence to put them into. You want them to have at their fingertips the ability to pull that contact information, add them to your Salesforce, and not take half hour to an hour just to do admin and Google subpar contact details. And then it goes into the personal calls and cadences. Matt, maybe you want to speak on the personal calls and cadences?
So I guess we could talk about this when I show the extension, just in terms of how we push them into our cadences and what the workflow looks like. But
okay, so let's skip over that for a second, and then I will go to the final point, which is once we get that meeting booked, right? Is a big difference between meeting booked and meeting attended. So one tool that we do use is Reach Desk. Like, hey, looking forward to speaking tomorrow. So since you're giving me 20 minutes of your time, let me save you 20 minutes of your time by giving you lunch on us with a $20 Uber Eats voucher, right? That's super powerful. People love that, and it's a tool that we arm our SDRs with, our BDMs with, and our CS teams with. So Alex, I don't know if you want to touch on that a bit.
I think you've said a lot of it, mate. I'm very pleased, obviously, to to hear that's being used and it's working. There are a couple of things just to mention on why it works, right? It's, I suppose, firstly, think about how many people have done that to you over the past year, 6 months, right? Very few do that. But it gives you that standout thing, right? We're so focused on trying to build relationships and create experiences, but it's very hard, right? When we're a screen away from someone else. So that one thing just starts the relationship on the right foot. We're salespeople, so we're gonna have to start going to discovery. We're gonna have to warm them up. And when, trust me, you get people turning up, and I've had videos sent from the Cognizant team being like, check this out, this is my prospect, send me a video of like their lunch arriving and how excited they are for the call. Isn't that what you want? That's the effect that you're giving people, and you actually make it shareable as well. They usually share it with their families, or I've had meetings where people come up with like Starbucks cups with my name written on it, being like, hey Al, this is super cool, thanks man. So it's just that small thing, and it doesn't cost a lot, but it can do wonders to you. And we've seen really interesting things with some of our customers actually wanting to renew with their customers because of the way they were treated. So it's not just that initial piece, it can be later on down the line, which is the effect that you can really deliver. I actually have a question, if that's okay. How are you guys at the moment really refreshing that ICP, particularly now as the world has changed? Do you do it regularly? What does that look like? Or do you just have an ICP that you've stuck to for a long time?
So we try to iterate on it quarterly, so we're not really knee-jerking with, okay, there's a new product, let's do a massive pivot. So we know our core customer base, we know what's coming inbound to us, we know which has the best retention, best growth, right? And growth is a huge indicator. So accounts that come to us and they are actively consuming more and more of a particular product and a product suite, like we do an analysis of that, and we understand what part of that market that is derived from. And then with our tool on our search filters, we have the ability to really drill down into it. So we do revisit the ICP and iterate on it once quarterly, and it's a combination of firmographic, technographic information, size of sales team, retention, growth, and sales win rate along with sales cycle. So that's the kind of formula that we put together to derive on our ICP. So it's a combination of qualitative and quantitative thinking. So of course, like if we have new ideas, we'll bring it up on the ICP meeting, but then we always go back to the data to support. What was the win rate? What was the retention rate? What's the growth rate? What was the sales cycle? And then all of that gets taken into account, and we roll out the ICP across the business every quarter.
Very cool, man. I think if anyone listening, do that exercise regularly. We're trying to do it quarterly as well. But particularly now, the world is changing so fast. I believe sales, I always say that sales changes every month. But if you can do it every quarter and refresh that ICP, you should, genuinely speaking, be going after the best fit customers all the time.
Yeah, certainly. And going back to what you were saying about Reach Desk, I think it was a great point. It's not even about the tangible good that's being delivered. For me, it's about like, it's an injection of good faith along the process, right? Like no matter where you are, and I use it so much, like we had a customer who we slipped on the onboarding because there was daylight savings change time in between the UK and the US for 1 hour. So we didn't take that into calculation. It was an international customer, and we gave the wrong onboarding time. So it's like, oh, our apologies, which is normally enough, but it's like, hey, as a token of our good faith, because we know how important it is to start off on a good foot, here's an Uber Eats voucher, like save yourself some time. And he's like, if you guys want to come over now, I got pepperoni pizza on the way from it. Like, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much, right? Like, and it's just like that good faith, right? People love products and they love value and ROI, but they need to have a good faith relationship with the company. They need to feel like that company is out for their best interest. And it starts all the way through. Good faith from like that first sales touch point to once you're deep in the evaluation process, to once you're kicking off the onboarding, to once you're growing in the product suite, and once you're renewing. Like ReachDesk helps us inject that good faith and the fact that we care and are thinking about our customers in there, and to make it more than just words. So super powerful.